All right. Yo and hello. Hello everyone. I'm back again with the quick short video. Hopefully quick short video. I can never get to make it as quick or as short as possible. I tend to talk a lot, I guess. That's why. But anyway, this is going to be a video on copper and something that I really see interesting that is developed in copper. And this is a trade I've been in since, well, yesterday because it's a copper breakdown about 385. And it's a very important. I mean, this is like how should I say, like a bookmark trade in a sense, or bookmark market. I wouldn't say trade, because copper is very important. Copper is like in the commodity sphere, copper is called Dr. Copper because copper tends to predict the future in a sense. Basically, if the prediction or people think or like participants in the market or the economy, that's the factories or whatever, people who do things, they think they're going to have more orders in the future. They, you know, order more of the basic products that they need. Well, one of them is copper because you need copper for in everything from wiring to harnesses to metal products to finished goods to furniture, trinkets. Copper's in everything. So does the moniker Dr. Copper. And copper has its own like seasonalities and its own like cycles, right? But usually speaking, the market projects about 6 months to a year out. And so what we're looking at whenever something moves in copper, the assumption is that copper, we're saying that what the economy might be like, anywhere between 2 to 3 months to a year, but really about like 6 months or so to a year. So, 6 to 9 months, let's say. Real, that's really about it. It's more like a half year like cycle. But the reason it's interesting and important is because of that, because it gives you a window to maybe speculate what's happening in the future or what is likely, what are the likely probabilities of different kind of events in the future. Okay, so essentially, copper's breaking down, and the assumption therefore is that, well, you know, uh, in the future the world economy will be slower, if not lagging, if not shrinking. And on top of that, then we have to ask why, and the why is obviously what's been in the news lately, which is interest rates everywhere, all the Fed talk and all this kind of stuff. And so not only the Fed, we have the rest of the other Feds of the world that are trying to catch up to American Fed, and so basically everyone's jacking the interest rates, and what that's causing is slowing everyone's economy down, and some people actually even putting the economy through a recession to control, inflation. Nobody wants to have a run of inflation, and so that's basically the situation that we're in, which means that in a slow economy in the whole world, um, even though China is not, um, that they're not up to like full speed because of they still have some like lockdowns, intermittent lockdowns. But in spite of that, I mean, if they come back, the whole world is basically hiking the interest rates. I doubt that Chinese demand is good enough to kind of make up for the loss of the rest of the world's economic activity, so to speak. Even though the Chinese now are a big player, in fact, in my opinion, probably the biggest player. But so what does this mean for copper? So therefore, that's the fundamental reason why we're seeing this kind of a down move in copper. Now, the reason it's kind of also interesting from a technical perspective is that when copper moves, they really move. They move real fast. So, in other words, most stocks kind of like, do this, like slow and steady. Yeah, like I don't know, soccer mom driving her SUV. Sometimes they don't drive slow and steady. Sometimes they're crazy. But whereas copper does this, you know, whoop. So come on. Right. That took longer than I thought it would. So anyway, so this is that's why it's interesting to see this in the channel. And if you look at this, this is almost like a stair step, and this is like uh, textbook trend. Uh, you can't get any better than this. Once you have this kind of a channel that gets established, I mean, you can trade this all day. But what got me interested again is due to all the Fed talk and Bitcoin stuff. I totally forgot about copper till like a couple of days back. I started to follow it, and about 385 is essentially when I got in. But the reason is because you can see that essentially on the bottom end, the prices are not holding, and once it broke like this, if you would extend it, it broke through this level, right, about 385, because it started to congest more. This breakdown was bigger breakdown than thought it would, but I think the main reason this is even worse is because it didn't even stay inside the channel, it just broke down in, below the channel. So anyway, so 385. So why is this important? It's because if you um, go zoom out a little bit, you see like this huge area that's been consolidation or this congestion for the last like year right here. It broke to all of that like in a flash as if it was nothing, right? So we have about like 4 or 5 or so is like the level to look at when it broke through, because by that time, like, this is the last low, right? What is it, 4 or 5? 4 spot 5? 4 spot 04. So about $4.04, let's say, because that was the last low. Simultaneously, that same last low was like this, kind of, it all blew through this whole area, right? And this happened before it broke down. There's a lot of congestion. Even for copper, you can see when they move really hard, even even in a consolidation. But late consolidation, it was really getting consolidated, really narrow, right? Lack of volatility for copper essentially. But then boom, it went down. It cleared through all these, then it went up again, and then when it broke down below this low, which is 404 or 405, that was a good signal that this is going to be a sustained move down. And not it was a sustained, it got really bad. I mean, now what is the implication? The implication is that if it does have to go up, it has to go up and work through all these other levels. And remember, like, each of these price points have a lot more participants in the past. Some of them are still holding on to their positions. Actually, more likely than not, no. But there's still some that are in these positions. Very few, like I said. But the thing is that, technically speaking, if it does go up, it has to work through a lot of these price points. Versus now, there's a lot of room to grow, or a lot of room to move to the downside. And so the next one down is going to be exactly where it's entering right about 370. That's where it's at right now. And then the end point is going to be 350, right? 350 or so. This is basically the next, like, if it breaks through 350, then we have another leg that it can run down to, which is about, what is this, 310 or so, right? 310. And then if it breaks down 280 or so, because this 280 level, or 285, whatever that is, you don't have to be perfect as this area, right? You see, this area has a lot of like congestion, a lot of consolidation, whereas this whole travel down this path doesn't. It's mostly vertical except for this area. And so you see there's a big amount of congestion. They built a base over here for so long, right? Um, that we're likely to find some kind of a strong, uh, level here, the 280, 290 level. Starting at 310, we should expect some kind of support. If it can, this is going to be the main support zone. Damn it. Yeah, 280, right? So somewhere in between like 310. A lot of action, a lot of action. this zone, which was on for about like a couple of months or so. This is how long it was taken to build this zone back in late 2020. Uh, and so yeah, so basically next level down, and there might be some action to go through till it breaks through 350 if it does, but that's gonna be kind of like the path of least resistance with the way that it's acting. It's very much in a strong downtrend. It's likely to, again, I'm not predicting anything, but this is what it, uh, where the path of least resistance is for copper. And if it does go up, you know, this is gonna be what, 405, right? That's one level, and then this high, which is 457, and then ultimately, oh, then this high, then this high. So those are gonna be the levels to look at. What the likelihood of that happening? Less likely, just because there's a lot of space. It has to fight for every inch. As it goes down, you know, there's a lot of space for it to move down to. You know, um, not a whole lot of participation as each of these price levels as it moves down, as it as opposite, the other way around. If it's moving down, there's each less price points for it to fight through, basically. So anyway, I don't want to keep on rambling because I think I am doing that right now. So anyway, again, my I just want to make this quick video here. So hope you guys like it. This is, by the way, this is none of this is a recommendation or advice. This is all just for educational purpose, entertainment purpose, even infotainment. I probably like the better infotainment purpose. Um, and not, I'm not advising or giving you any kind of trade signals or whatever. Um, if you do need some help or you want some guidance, best off like ask someone, like an advisor or consultant that you can trust. But yeah, this is just for, your information. You got to do your own research on your own like how to do this kind of, you got to find your own like bias. Not, this is my thoughts and my thoughts only, basically. So anyway, yeah, yeah, beautiful, beautiful pattern right there. It's almost like textbook. Anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video because I thought it was interesting, and yeah, hope to maybe do one of these again in the future. Thank you. Have a great night.